Hello everyone, SF Extras here, and today I'm going to do a little bit of a different video because I want to do a tutorial on how to make a custom weapon within the Unreal Editor for Fortnite. Now, the process is pretty simple, but so I'm going to go over how to import your own models, what you will need, just some other tips like sound, like where I got the sound for. Okay, I'm sorry. This is a sidetrack. I have to put this at the end of the video. It's caught me off guard. Alrighty. Anyways, first of all, to enable custom weapons, you need to go up here to Project. Go to Project Settings. Scroll down here and turn on Custom Items in Inventory. You do need Scene Graph enabled as well, but if you check this, it will auto-enable Scene Graph. So it's just like one less check. Secondly, if you want a custom model, I typically use Blender and Fortnite porting. I'll leave descriptions for both below, and we'll come to this in a minute. But let's get our weapon here all set. So in order to do this, you need to go into the content browser. Right-click and click on Entity Prefab. When you do, there's a lot here. You don't have to worry about any of this as long as you type in template. And when you type in template, you'll see 4 options: assault rifle, pistol, shotgun, and submachine gun. As of right now, you cannot change animations. So if you have a gun that has a vertical grip, you're going to want to use the submachine gun. If you don't, and you have a gun where you hold the barrel, you're going to want to use the assault rifle or shotgun template. And then if you have a one-handed gun, you're going to want to use the pistol template. So for my thing, I'm going to recreate Midas's drum gun, so I need this template, the SMG. Name it, which gotta remember naming stuff. Ignore the horrible typing. We have... Okay, there we go. And then if you enter it, you will have a bunch of options. Changing the weapon itself is pretty straightforward. You have all these components. Description component, you can change the name and description. So obviously, I'm changing it to Midas's drum gun. If I go, give me a quick second. I do not want to type a description, so I am just going to go to the wiki and copy and paste. What did I just do? Okay, sorry. I don't know what I did. Hopefully it doesn't mess with something. I don't think it did. Anyways, so descriptions. I don't know the difference between description and short description. I don't know what changes. It might be... I think if a weapon is on the ground, it can have a description, but that doesn't work with custom weapons just yet. But then we go, so next, after we've done description, we can go into the for item pickup interactable component and you can change the interact message to pick up and then whatever weapon you want it to be. I'm naming it Midas's drum gun because again, that's what I'm using. You can have certain things here. I don't typically mess with these. We'll just see what that does. So when you want to add a value to these, you just have to click the drop down menu and then the only option will add settings. So that's what you typically have to do. For to trace weapon component is where all the stats of the weapon are. So damage, I'm going to set it to 25. Environment damage, this is a multiplier of your set damage. So right now, environment damage is 25. If I set it to 10, it'll be 250. If I set it to 0, it will be 0. 10 is the highest you can set for multipliers. Range. If we come here, you can see there's a bunch of ranges. Okay, it measures in centimeters. So, all of this is centimeters. So we won't mess with this too much. But if you want it to do more, you could have it so like it doesn't do anything when it's close, and then farther down, it can do like 10x damage downrange. So that is yours to mess. You can add more than just the 5 distance values. It does not... You don't have to stick to just the 5 that's here. You can have more, you can have less. I mean, that's pretty much that. If we come down here, max range ties in with here. I would recommend setting max range and the final multiplier to the same distance, just for simplicity. Fire rate is how fast the gun shoots, so for Midas, I have to set it to 10. Reload time is how fast the gun reloads. I have to set it to 2.7. Weapon spreads. This is a little difficult to understand. I'm not going to lie to you. But, to put it simply, if everything is at 0, it has pinpoint accuracy. Expansion rate per shot means for every time you shoot, add a it multiplies the bloom. Weapon spread is the bloom of the gun. So every time you shoot, there's a you can have it so like the bloom gets 10 times worse, or like 1.1, whatever you want. It could even you could even make it so it gets better over time. If you want it to get better, you just have to do values under 1. I'm going to do 1.1 for that. Cooldown rate is how quick the crosshair resets to its original. So I'm not going to mess with it. But after first shot, it's how long it takes to reset. So if you have like a gun with first shot accuracy and this has a high timer, it's like 10x, it will take longer. I'm pretty sure. It might actually be quicker. I don't know. Idle spread multiplier is the bloom of standing still. I typically go lower for this because, you know, if you're not moving, then you're going to be more accurate. Moving spread multiplier means, I mean, when you're moving, like not like just walking around, it will, you can change the bloom. I'm going to make it a little less accurate while you're moving, like 1.2. Crouching spread multiplier when you crouch. I'm also going to make that a little better. Sliding and sprinting, again, just multipliers to change the accuracy when you're doing these. When you're sliding or sprinting. So I'm going to do, for sliding, like 1.3 and 2 for sprinting. And aiming down sights. So when you aim, like when you just aim normally without any other input, this is what changes the accuracy. Now, unless you want to be evil, you usually want this under a value of 1. So it's more accurate. There's nothing stopping you from making it so when you aim in, it becomes the most inaccurate thing you've ever seen and bullets will shoot behind you. This is very possible. I've done it before and it's very funny. I'm also going to quickly put this back to 1. Because also, I forgot to mention, idle spread is like the default bloom for the gun. So when you're doing nothing with the gun, that is like the bloom every other multiplier goes off of. If you want a gun that doesn't have pinpoint accuracy at all times, you will typically want this one to be like somewhere around like 1 or a little above 1. Weapon recoil, pretty simple. I think I'm gonna go with like 1.2 for both of these. So, or actually, you know what? I'm realizing. Okay, so weapon recoil. This is the normal recoil. So every time you shoot, it will move up a little bit, and it's using multipliers. I don't know what the base is. So if you're not aimed in, and this one, you usually want to make it so this one's higher, because this is if you're not aimed in. And then this one, I keep accidentally putting higher, but you usually want it to be better when you're aimed in. It's hard to see the difference because we can't really control the bloom for weapons inherently. And it's kind of, it's a little weird to mess with. But, next. Weapon ammo capacity, ammo shot count. So ammo capacity is how much ammo the weapon has before you need to reload. I'm setting it to 40, because again, drum gun. Ammo shot. Shot ammo cost means every time you shoot, it will cost the value amount of bullets. So most guns have this set to 1, but if you set it to 5, it will cost 5 bullets every time you shoot. It's a pretty cool thing. You can also set it to 0, so it never runs out of bullets. You can't set it in the negatives. I don't think you can set anything in the negatives here. Yeah, no, I think the lowest number you can go is 0. Visuals, these are just effects, and then you can move where the effects are. I wish there was like a preview for so you could see where these effects are. I'll try to mess with this in a minute when we have the drum gun in to see if I can line it up better. But weapon fire sounds. So these take specifically sound waves. You can't do sound cues. They have to be sound waves. Now, I get these... one second. There's a giant ad in the way here. I got these sounds off of the wiki right here. All of these... Because if you want to download them, you just right-click on these little icons and open file page. And you can download it right here. You typically want 4 gunshot audios, and you can just drag and drop these in. I only have 3, and I'm just going to reuse one of them for the 4th audio. I don't really care. Equip sound. A little fun fact with equip sounds is that they typically use the end of the reload of the weapon for the equip sound. So that's what I usually go off of. Aim down sight start and end is when you first aim in. You usually hear like those sounds. So I have those. I'm gonna put them right there. And then we have reload, start, insert, and end. And so I named these accordingly. Insert. And end. If a weapon of yours doesn't have a magazine that you insert, just treat this one like the middle of the reload. So the start, when you're doing a reload audio, you need to section it into 3 bits. The start, the middle, and the end. If it doesn't have a magazine, just put the middle bit in the insert area. And it works pretty well still. We can't change animations yet. So pretty much any weapon is going to reload weird. And it's not much you can do about it. The last audio is drum gun, no audio. Or no ammo. It's just when you run out of ammo. Pretty self-explanatory. And then, so we're finally done with this. we've changed everything except for visuals, which I don't need to change. They use Niagara effects, so they're pretty easy to make and replace. I just got to figure out where it's located and how to track where it's located. So next, we go down to the item component. This is as simple as a PNG. It's so simple. Done. You typically want the PNG to be in a square ratio. The best is 512 by 512. That's where it has the most detail, but is the smallest item component. From what I remember, you don't really want to mess with this because it can break the gun. And it works fine without having anything in the component here. But when I used it once, I put the weapon as weapon ranged, and it didn't break it. It didn't change anything at all, actually. So I'm not really sure what that's about. But if you want to resolve an override, just go to this little blue circle, click it, and then click it, and then click clear override, and that is solved. Next is rarity component. This is a single setting that shows all of the rarities common through exotic. You likely can do custom rarities, but I don't think they would be shown in here. There's definitely ways to add custom rarities, though. I assume it would be through like verse and scene graph things that I'm not going to get into. Transform component is just where the gun is. Not sure. You don't usually have to mess with this one. It's the last one, the submachine gun mesh. Now, this is where we will need to import our mesh. And so we shall start doing that. And how I do it is, again, Blender and Fortnite porting. I go into Fortnite porting and into assets and search in the gun I want. In this case, drum gun. We'll do Midas's. You select the style and then you export the Blender. You come in here and bam, it's right here. So now you go into File, Export, and I do GLTF 2.0 because I have struggles with FBX that they don't let me export or import into UEFN due to an error that I don't know how to solve. So we're going to go with a GLB file. And the one thing you need to change is turn off animations. Otherwise, it will still give you an error. So we'll search it to Midas Drum Gun Mesh. Export. Keep this up because we might need to I might need to grab textures. And then we go into File Explorer. We find the file, which is just in my downloads folder, and we just simply drag and drop. And you can turn off certain things, like the textures here, whatnot, skeletal mesh. We will need these three at the very minimum. You click import and give it a second. Then it will show you a ton of things. But what we are looking for is this one. Now, for some reason, when I import, the textures are inverted. And so I typically have to make my own texture. That's super easy. But first, we need a static mesh, not a skeletal mesh. So how do we fix that? Well, if you go into the skeletal mesh, you can click this button up here, make static mesh. And I'm going to put it into tutorial, the tutorial folder, and just name it Midas Dumb Gun. And then we go back, and now we have a static mesh. And for the material. I'm going to create a new material for it. So we right click an empty space, come up here and just click material. Right. This dumb gun mat. Come into here. And then we can go... Are the textures seriously just solid image? Wait, the textures are just solid images. Okay, that's kind of funny. So we'll go into here. And I'll just drag and drop the normal and the base color, and we'll just attach those. It's kind of funny that these are just solid colors. I'm not sure why, but we'll take it. Also, a little tip. If you're trying to make gold, put the metallic to 1 and keep the roughness around 0.5 or 0.25, depending on the shininess. I'm going to stick with 0.25 because I like it shiny. And then we come into tutorial, in the static mesh, and we change the material in the mesh. If you try to change it in the gun, it will not work. The materials don't override in the custom weapon. You have to change it in the mesh. And real quick, in the mesh itself, you do have to do a couple things. First, we need to come into collision, and we need to we'll just do a simple box collision. Very simple hitbox. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. And the very last thing, in collision preset, we just need to set it to overlap all. That way, when you're holding the gun, you don't spaz out and bullets don't get blocked by the gun itself. So now we have the drum gun. We have one other special step to do to make it so the custom weapon sees the mesh. So, oh my god, I forgot when saving, it just hides everything. That's so annoying. So if we try to change the mesh now, you'll notice a very quick issue where it's not seeing it. So you might be wondering, how do you fix that? For some reason, you have to compile verse. And typically, unless the project's messed up, the static mesh will show up right after. And now that it is in the game, there's also another issue. If you saw with the SMG before, the pivot was in the handle, not at the stock or at the butt of the gun. So how do you change that? Well, bring the gun back out, just bring the static mesh back out, go into modeling, to X-form, and click edit pivot. And just move the pivot over to the handle. Like right, usually want it a little under the trigger because it's where the center of your hand goes, is where the pivot is set. So we're going to click accept because that's a pretty good spot. And now if we go back, it also updated in here. Sweet. And we get rid of that. We don't need the mesh itself. Drag and drop the weapon out. We have the drum gun. Hooray! Surprisingly, when you're working with 3D spaces, you should always look in more than one direction. Otherwise, you get that little issue where you realize the gun is not properly in its place. Here's the most annoying thing. Okay, we're going to just try lining it up right there. So the barrel of the gun is right on the line with the blue edge of the magnet. And then we'll just move it, copy the transforms, and reset it. Go back into weapon trace and paste the transform so that the muzzle offset is or should be in the right spot now. Our weapon should be ready to use. One thing I did forget to mention, right now you can't change... oh, let's ignore that. There was a video idea that happened back there. But anyways, so one thing I will mention, we'll pick this up. So that's what the interaction does. You can't change weapon or ammo type just yet. So what? Why doesn't it? I think I goofed up a setting. But okay, it doesn't. You can't change the ammo type it uses. So the template you use is the ammo it will use. So ARs take medium, shotguns are shells, pistols and SMGs are light ammo. There's no way to make it so like a gun takes heavy ammo or rocket ammo or arrows just yet. This thing is very bare bones and will eventually have more to it, obviously. But I think I accidentally made it so... Yeah, I accidentally forgot to make it so it doesn't... Or it actually consumes ammo. But I can see the bullet things in the right spot. And you can... So, I mean, this is how you do it. It's pretty cool. You can kind of see, so... This is the idle, by the way. This is idle bloom. So when I aim in, you can see it gets a little more accurate. Gets ever so slightly more accurate when I crouch. And then when I move, it gets less accurate. Whatnot. And then if I shoot it, you see it does the damage. I keep trying to reload it. Okay, I need to push changes so I can actually reload it and you can hear all the audio. Sorry about that. Alrighty, now. There we go. So you can see the animation's weird for reloading because it uses the Stinger SMG's animations. But if you can look over that fact, and I think, let me go into free cam for a second here. I think, yeah, it's a little off because the Stinger's vertical is not where the drum guns is. So there's always going to be a little, it's going to be a little janky in areas, kind of no matter what you do. But this is the closest we have, and it's pretty darn close, I'd say. So I think it's pretty good. I will have to note, maybe I don't know how to do it, but you can't put stuff in chests. You can't put custom weapons in chests or anything like that. I've seen a tutorial where you are able to grant it to people's inventories. I don't remember the tutorial or how to do it. You can't change the animations yet. Can't change weapon type, so right now my drum gun takes light ammo instead of medium. But for the most part, I think it's pretty good. And that is my knowledge on how to port, or not port, but make custom weapons with pretty much everything changed. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and I will make sure there are links to some of the things I use.